Good morning, and welcome to another video with myself, Rev.Arlene C. And today we are going to talk about February. Let's talk about those February energies that are really intensifying into our reality. So, in my video yesterday that I made about mediumship and connections with those who are now on the other side, living their next phase of their life on the other side, I was touching a little bit at the beginning about February and how I already felt this shift, this pull of energy, this expansion, maybe that's a better word, this expansion of energy that came in on January 31st at about, it was after 10 o'clock in the evening Eastern time, right, because I'm in Ontario, Canada. And then it just kept amplifying February 1st, and then it's another intensive wave of it is still here present now on February 2nd. And so happy Groundhog Day. So, and it's interesting because, of course, I was seeing that the groundhog in parts of the States is calling for winter. So far, the Ontario groundhog is saying early spring, and then some of the other provinces haven't done theirs yet. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Even if doesn't matter, it's still 6 weeks of whatever weather we're going to get, right? And it's technically still winter, so it doesn't really matter. For Canada, at least, right? Anyways, not important. So, here we go. So, these energies are just like, wow. And what I keep sensing is excitement. Now, the thing is that often excitement gets confused for anxiety, right? So it's about shifting that perspective and letting yourself to kind of anchor in to your body, anchor into your energy signature, and ask yourself, see how you feel it, and ask yourself, is it really anxiety that I'm feeling, or is this excitement? But I'm so used to thinking it's anxiety. So there's this exciting energy that is present. And I'm just sensing this birthing of new realities, and we are truly being brought forth to this new birthing. It's just, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And yeah, I can understand the nervousness because we're not used to that, right? And again, like I said, we've been often led to see it as anxiety or nervousness, like it's not something positive, but it is. But yes, change, even when for the good and for our highest alignment, can feel uncomfortable because we are so used to the programming or what we've been taught to believe, right? So there's that level of being uncomfortable because we are reprogramming ourselves, right? We are shifting our realities. We are shifting our molecular structure within us, right? And as much as that might feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little scary, but how wonderful, how empowering is that to know that you are shifting into something, just that awe feeling. And I feel that for a lot of us, it's going to require a lot of faith and trust in God and in your higher self team. It's going to require a lot of faith and trust to not try to control the journey, the path, the bus, to take your hands off. I feel that we are going to be required that a lot. And I feel for some and most actually that it's like a huge 180 is happening right? A huge 180. It's like, and I'm even noticing that for myself in many ways too, where I was following this one direction, and it's happened quite a bit, but I feel like even more so for myself, in my business and in how I'm offering my services, but more of what it feels like for me within myself, that I already know I'm not the same person I was like 3 months ago. And that was already so much of coming out of, my comfort levels, or, shedding my skin, which again, it is the year of the snake and it's the year of the wood snake. So it is deep, right? It's more of that nature earth, right? That earth energy, but we are of the earth as much as we are of the galactics and the skies and the, the dust, right? Like that magical fairy dust, as much as we are of that too, but we are children right now of the earth. So we are also in that, as we're going into that spring energy already, right? Like it's already coming through that spring energy of birthing, of letting the seeds start to show fruit. And we are really being pushed out of our comfort levels, out of what we thought was our path. It is truly, like, a lot of us are going through some deep shit. Like, we're deep in the layers, but it's so important for us. And like I said, it's going to require deep trust and deep faith to allow it to bear fruit, to allow it to just reveal itself to us. And that is what I feel right now with February. The seeds were already planted, and a lot of us didn't really have awareness of it. But these seeds have already been planted, and now they're trying to kind of wiggle and bear a little bit more fruit, or not really bear fruit, but they're trying to get our attention now, because now it needs our attention so that we can water it and give it the sun that it needs, right? Like a plant, right? We now need to tend to it. It's come to the point where it can only do so much on its own. Now it needs our support, our intention and attention. And I feel like that's where right now the energy is, where we don't have to do a lot right now, because it's still about, like I said, the trust and the faith part. But it does need an aspect of our awareness. It needs us to at least acknowledge its existence so that we become aware to look and acknowledge the signs and what's being presented to us, and to surrender to it all, and to say, like, okay, I'm going to step back, because I don't want to influence it with my human limitations, really, right? Because of my fear and my anxiety. I want to have fun with this. I want it to just reveal itself to me. I want it to come to me effortlessly, right? With ease. And, and if you are having ideas, just write them down and just leave it be, right? And see if that's where the breadcrumbs are being, are falling and presenting themselves to you. Because I feel that for a lot of us now, in this paradigm and the energy that is present, we really can't be in resistance anymore. We won't be allowed to let our fear, ride the bus anymore. Because things will happen to shake our foundation so strongly. So if you've been, struggling to have the trust to leave, let's say, a job, something's going to happen where that job is going to be gone because you sat on it for too long, or the forcing you to a move of some kind, whether it be physical or something. Like, these things are taking place. these things are happening. And again, it's also understanding that there's still that aspect too where a lot of things are happening as activations. So it's not that you even, like, it's like you make the choice, you step into it, right? Because you've given that faith and trust. And then it becomes more of an activation to lead you to the next part, right? To the next crumb. So it's not even that you actually stay in that. So I'll give an example, like for me, how it's been happening. And again, I'm still like just kind of, I'm going with it, you know, and I still don't know where that's taking me, but I'm, you know, going with it. I'm asking questions, I'm talking to different people, but I'm not making any permanent decisions yet. So one thing that was happening was, so this was before 2025, right? So it was those last few months of like October, November. And I started, you know, with the purging of stuff in my home and the decluttering. And I kept having these ideas of services to offer. And so I started offering this one service, and I did it, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to be doing this after, right? I'm like, it doesn't really feel like an alignment with me. But through that, people that I met who I gave that service to is now leading me into a new direction, which is bringing me more into certain roles that I have access to as being a metaphysical minister now. So, and again, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm excited to see what happens, right? So it's like understanding that these things are going to happen too, where you're going to be led one way, but it doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. And this is really about, like I said, that trust, that faith, that surrender, that letting go, that ability to say, okay, I'm ready to go deep in me, deal and like face with love and compassion these aspects that I never thought I would be like going through or wanted like even entertain, but I need it to push me through to the next phase, right? And I feel like right now, this is what the energy of February is bringing through. Now, this is still the beginning of February because it's only February 2nd. And I'm sure as we shift more into the month and experience more of the month, maybe other energies will come through. And if I sense those and pick up on those, I'll definitely make a video. But for right now, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm feeling it so strongly today. Like, I swear, like, I feel this energy of like Energizer Bunny, like it's like I'm like high on caffeine, but then there's this also like, and I don't feel like I could be like really anchored in very much today, but then there's also this feeling of like a fairy, and I just want to float and just not be tied down, attached to anything. I just want to float and just see what happens. I will leave it at that, surrounding you all in love. Until next time, you are loved, you are seen, you are safe, and you are whole. Thank you for being here.